if you struggle with making decisions, if you struggle with sticking to plans or trusting yourself to do something, you have self-doubt, you're overthinking, you're avoiding commitment without you even realizing it. So it's not just, okay, well, this guy and you understand, we're not doing this, so he does not commit to me. But are you on your own committing to any other thing else in your life?
Sister soul, sister flow, sister flow, sister flow.
3, 2, 1.
So today, guys, we're going to talk about fear of commitment. Now, when you hear that, Steve, what comes to mind?
I have somebody to message there and tell them to make sure they log on.
Oh, wow. Why are you messaging the person? Because what came to mind when I said that?
Fear of commitment. Someone who is refusing to actually sign a contract, to actually work with a project, continue a project. That my mind went to business.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Because you say you have to message somebody. It felt like you were targeting somebody. So I'm trying to
No. Today is a good show.
What,
you need to tune in.
what
Turn up the
went to
volume.
mind?
Turn up
Okay.
the volume, guys. This is a very good
And
topic.
I'm happy that you actually went to business. Because normally when you hear fear of commitment, automatically people think relationships. Like, they forget everything else that
go to-
needs commitment. And by default, they always just think commitment is relationships.
Right.
But then commitment issues shows up everywhere.
True.
In your work, in your goals, in your personal growth. So if you struggle with making decisions, if you struggle with sticking to plans or trusting yourself to do something, you have self-doubt, you're overthinking, you're avoiding commitment without you even realizing it. So it's not just, okay, well, this guy and you understand, we're not doing this, so he does not commit to me. But are you on your own committing to any other thing else in your life?
I feel like I need a like a sound effect right now. Like shots fired.
No, but for real,
It's
because
true.
you're expecting this from this person.
Yeah.
But where is your self accountability for you? Are you committed to the things that you say you're committed to? That's your sound effects.
That's it. That's as good as it gets today.
Fear of commitment is rooted in making the fear of making the wrong choice. So you procrastinate, you overthink, you leave things unfinished. So it affects more than your relationship. It impacts, like we mentioned, every single angle of your life. Because if we look at the wheel of life, our life is normally separated in like 8 sections. So you have personal growth, you have finances, you have health, you have career, you have relationships, you have family or friends, you have recreational.
I feel like we actually need a physical wheel so we can like do the whole.
Yes,
yeah,
the
going
whole
to-
you.
yeah,
So fear of commitment applies to every single aspect of your life. It's not just I have a spouse, I'm committed, I'm not cheating, I'm devoted, I'm doing this. Okay, that's one part of the wheel.
Right.
What happens to the other 7 parts of the wheel? All of these require you to be committed,
Correct.
to improve, to hold yourself accountable. So indecisiveness is a decision in itself. So no
Right.
decision is a decision.
Yes.
So by default, you are still doing something, and waiting for any perfect moment to do something keeps you stuck. Because sometimes you can get clarity before you do something, but then sometimes you need to act to get clarity. Clarity sometimes comes after you make the action. You realize that, okay, so maybe I should have done this differently. You end up now getting different options, things that you did not see before you actually act. Sometimes you get clarity after you act. Also, even in your fear of making the wrong decisions or the right decision, if you're stuck in that, you find yourself, as we said, making no decisions. But even in the bad decisions, you gain clarity because there is a lesson to learn.
Right.
Whether it be, for instance, you mentioned about the contract, right? So let's just say you went ahead and you still did the business even if the person is avoiding to sign the contract, right?
Right.
Now when it comes to time for payment, you now have to haggle with this person because they did not sign the contract, right? So of course that's a bad decision. You're upset. You now have to deal with a situation that maybe could have been avoided. But the clarity given to you, the lesson learned, the knowledge that you get from experience is to make you realize that, okay, well, moving forward, it doesn't matter who it is, family, friends, spouse, whatever. I'm going to make sure I have a contract signed so I can cover my financial stress before it comes.
Right.
So even if that was a bad decision, a sticky situation, there was still some clarity gained in that situation.
Right.
So yeah, clarity can happen. Most times we want to know everything before we dive, But then sometimes you learn things along the way.
True.
Sometimes you learn things along the way. Now, in you fearing commitment and you overdoing it, there is different type of days for everybody. So you could have an effective day. Just so that you could keep yourself grounded. If you fear commitment, you can have an effective day. An effective day is a day where you just focus on big tasks alone.
Whew.
Yeah? So if you figure you have top 3 things, 4 things, maybe even 2 things, it could be 1 thing, that's fine. They have this major project, this major thing that you need to pay attention to. So that day will be called an effective day. So on that day, you just focus on that 1 thing. Then you could have the other days. Another day could be an efficient day. Now, an efficient day is when you do the little things that adds up to the big things. So if you have smaller tasks and stuff, you have an efficient day. And then there are days where you do none of the above, and that's okay too, because your body needs time to do nothing.
True.
And the nothing time shouldn't only be when you're sleeping. Because most times we're only idle when we're sleeping. We figure if we're not doing anything, then we're a failure. We're not being productive. But people confuse being busy and being productive. They are not the same.
Yeah. That is very
being
true.
busy just means that you're running around. You're occupied with your time. You can be busy and accomplish nothing for the day. I can ask you, Steve, how was your day? Girl, my day was so busy. When we look at your to-do list, nothing on the to-do list happened.
But
you had a busy
everywhere.
day.
I was everywhere doing all kinds of things, but
what you were supposed to be doing. Yeah, so busy doesn't always equal productive.
True.
Busy doesn't always equal results. And sometimes we confuse the two, because you can be busy and you can even be busy being idle. You're not actually contributing to nothing that you want to get done. But then you realize your entire day went away.
So how would you characterize each of these things? So let's break down busy, let's break down productive.
So busy is the art of moving about.
Just moving.
You're moving, you're doing different things. Now productive is you doing stuff that contributes to your goal.
There we go.
To the steps that you want to take.
Right.
So that's you being productive. So if in terms of, let's say for your weight loss, you decide, you spend the entire day, you figure you're so busy, you're so overwhelmed, all you've been doing is research. You already contribute to your weight loss.
Right.
Because what did you really do? If all the information that you got, you sat there.
I gained knowledge.
You get knowledge is only power if you use it.
Woo.
Knowledge is only power if you use it.
You know, I need to get that sound effect.
You need to get it's only power if you use it. Other than that, it's not really useful.
Right.
If you're not applying the knowledge that you get. And that's different from being productive. So productive in the sense of it is, okay, you kind of get to go to the gym due to finances, due to your work hours or whatnot, but you can start walking. You can maybe walk in times of, you get a small window, maybe on your lunch break, you do a little 15-minute walk. You being productive and adding to your weight loss journey.
Right.
Versus you spending 8 hours online browsing through Google that tells you all the things to do. And you figure you write down whole day, you write in. You're writing.
Actually, you're writing burns calories. I'm just saying.
Is that science backed?
Yes, it is. Everything you do burns calories. It's just how many calories and how much is that actually going to contribute. And then, is there going to be an actual deficit when you're finished with a caloric deficit at the end? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're right.
You say all this to say that I was
You're right. You're right.
Right? What we can do, I feel also when you fear commitments and you fear making the wrong decision, sometimes it's because the task in itself just feels heavy. It doesn't feel appealing. You're not motivated to do it. Like, it doesn't spark anything for you.
Scary.
Yeah. And you can make a lot of things fun. You can make everything. You can make walking fun. You can make cleaning. You can make chores fun.
Timer.
Apart from just the timer, you can set the mood.
True.
We can always set the mood. We feel like we have to go outside to get luxury stuff. We the elegant things and stuff. No, you can set the mood. You can set the mood for whatever it is that you want to get done. So you're about to walk. You make sure you have your nice little playlist. You understand? And you have your playlist. You have your headphones. You're walking. You're dancing.
Right.
You have a whole vibe. It's no longer now just exercise for you that all of a sudden turns to your mini karaoke time, your mini me time, my me session, and then you come back and the mental frustration you might have when you figure, boy, I have to go and walk, and you dread that walk, you do that walk, it's a different feeling when you reach back home
Very right.
because you're more in a positive mood. It's now a vibe. So tomorrow, guess what? You're looking forward to going and work out because you have a new favorite song, whether you play that whole song for the workout for the whole 40 minutes.
I could buy myself flowers.
Yeah, so we could nice at the moment. You have chores to do. I mean, none of us really like to do chores. Let's be realistic. And if you do have a favorite chore, big up you. If you have a favorite chore, big up you or not.
Then
But-
it becomes a hobby, basically. you
Yeah,
know?
but then you can set the mood as well.
True.
Like for me, I need music when I'm cleaning.
Mhm.
I cannot clean without music. Like for me, it just you see that dead silence, and the pick up the laundry, put it there, fold the shirts so, fold the shirts so, fold
Right.
it so.
Okay.
It
I
starts to feel
Yes.
tedious. It starts to feel heavy.
I feel like the way you just described it, everyone who was listening are like, ugh, I
Yes.
have to go fold clothes.
Yes, and I just feel like I add some music on.
Mhm.
So I sometimes finish fold the clothes long already, and I end up finding something
Something
to
else to
do.
do. Yeah.
Because one, I end up enjoying the task that I did.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Since we're on the topic of folding clothes, that's not exactly the topic, but I'm just wondering, do you have one of those chairs or a little section in the room where you just have like a whole bunch of clothes?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do.
So that's a normal thing.
Let's not say normal. I would like to say that this is a strategy. I take the clothes, I put it on the chair.
Right,
Right?
right.
And then I plan the day that I'm going to fold it. It's a strategy.
Strategy.
Those, my guys on the live, y'all know what I'm saying. That's a
So-
strategy. We put the clothes on the side and then we dedicate the time to come back and fold
So
it.
when does it become a problem?
Oh, when the clothes stay there for weeks. Now you're just being
That's
ridiculous.
And you
yeah.
just adding onto
You
the
just
pile,
adding-
and then
you
the
adding
clothes
to the-
overflowing. You going inside of the pile to look for that outfit.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
that is when it becomes a problem.
This is where we actually have to commit.
Yeah, we have to
no,
finally commit.
commit to getting the clothes
But
folded.
before it even gets to that point, we can make things fun. And that's how I
Right.
get to enjoy the things that I do. Because motivation will only get you this far.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline will only get you this far. But then you see if you could add pleasure in there, you could add some fun in there, it really sticks it in. You become more motivated, you become more disciplined. Because even if it is a dreaded task, you happen to enjoy it. And the best thing is when you enjoy it.
Yes, Sarah.
Yes?
I want to be on your side 100% of
Oh
what
my
you just
God.
said. I want to say, yes, you are right. But let me tell you, Sarah, nothing will make me enjoy ironing clothes. I'm sorry. Nothing will
You know
make...
what you have against ironing?
What is so fun about ironing clothes? A hot metal on a piece of fabric. And you're going and you're going and you're going and you... A pack of fini piets. It doesn't end. An endless cycle of ironing clothes. Sarah, move on.
Oh, wow, they're gonna go through a whole spiral, all because we talk about chores.
No, you must find ways to enjoy it. But let me tell you, I don't know how I will ever come to a point where I'm like, yes, I'm going to iron my clothes and I feel great about it. It's not going to happen.
It's not. You see, that already is a mental block. If you say it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Then every time the task comes in your mind, you see why I hate ironing. Our brain always wants to be right, Steve.
Right.
Always. So it is always going to look for evidence to back up whatever it is that you say.
Okay, right?
So if you say you hate ironing because ironing sucks, every time
That's not the word I would have used there, but yes.
if every time it comes to ironing, you're going to find your mind is going to show you every reason why. All of a sudden, the ironing board don't want to open. All of a sudden, the iron don't want to get hot. And in those moments, your mind will be like, you see, I told Sarah
You're not supposed to do that. There's no point in doing this. This is a
told
pointless
Sarah
exercise.
there is no fun way to do ironing. Your mind
Right.
will always want to be right. So, like I always say, because our mind always searches for evidence, I always say what's wrong is always available, but what's right is always available as well.
So instead of looking at the negative of having to iron, we turn it into a positive. So
We can.
So we're looking at ironing our clothes. I look better when my t-shirts are ironed, honestly. Look how fresh I look today.
You understand?
Yeah, I
You
look
look
fresh.
put
Yeah.
together.
I look like my mother raised me, you understand?
So what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right.
Right.
And from the moment you put this mental block, your mind will always back it up. You never had a moment of, to give proof of that. You probably spot a vehicle, right? And then you spot that red vehicle, and you say, see that vehicle really nicey, right? And then all of a sudden now from that day, everywhere you pass, you see that red vehicle. It was not you.
not just that red vehicle, you've seen it antique, and then every
Yes,
vehicle
you've
of that
seen
same.
how many other models,
You see-
colors, and then
exactly.
in your mind, you thought you saw something new. You didn't.
Right.
Your mind just finally, you notice it for whatever reason you notice it, and now it knows that's something that you are interested in.
Right.
You just start to see it in all kind of odd places and times. It's almost like you feel like you're stuck in the vehicle. Like so many people have that vehicle. Sometimes it's right underneath your nose. Your neighbor have it. You never even pay attention to it.
It's true. It's true.
So this is really how your mind works.
Mm-hmm.
So your perspective can be your power or your prison. It really decides on how you look at things.
Mm-hmm.
And even on the days where you don't do anything because your body needs the downtime, that can be a vibe.
Yes.
That can be a vibe. As you mentioned, you do the pedicure, but you don't even have to do the pedicure. There are simple things that we can do to relax our mind and our body from just our day-to-day running. So like, for example, people underestimate a foot soak. A foot soak is a miracle worker.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
It is a miracle
A little
worker.
hot water.
A little hot water, a little Epsom salt.
True.
You can even put baking soda if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And just that 20 minutes of just sitting here, that helps with your blood circulation. That helps to release some of your tension. You'll feel good afterwards if you are present in the moment.
Get off the phone.
Yeah, if you
Get
look
off
at
the
it as a task,
Yeah.
or because Sarah told me that I have to do it, I'm going to just try that, and then you're not really feeling the vibe, it will not work. But you decide to say, okay, I deserve some relax because I am only human.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different effect that it's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to
Sure.
relax. You're going to be at ease, and that is part of the biggest element that we forget, the human factor. And that's why I had to highlight it in my brand, because yes, S, you are smart. A, you are ambitious. R, you are resilient because you keep going no matter how many times you get knocked down. A, you are authentic because everybody is unique in their own way. But the last part is H, you are human.
Human.
And we need to always tie that element back in.
Right.
Yeah, so we can make it something. It can be something. So even if you cannot nice it up or anything else, because like I don't know how I'm going to convince Tiva to iron. Like iron is just not going to work for her. But even the boring things and the process, growth can happen in those times. Because sometimes growth can be messy. Sometimes it can be like we mentioned earlier. Sometimes you have to take the action, and then after you do the action, you gain some clarity about what exactly
Right.
to do. So there might not be glamorous moments,
Yeah.
and you have to remind yourself of that. But growth is all about showing up and being consistent. So it's not giving up. It's not making mistakes. It's none of that. It's showing up and trying to get that done. So that task that you avoiding, that task that you're afraid of making the wrong decision because Peter, Paul, Jane might laugh, or you're afraid of what they're going to have to say. If it's something that you want to do, you have to do it. Do it messy and see what happens. I can guarantee after you've done it, you will gain clarity. If you don't have all the clarity before, you will understand what happens afterwards. So for my clients, we do a bit of each. So we gain a lot of clarity in the beginning,
Right.
especially if you're struggling with overthinking. So your mind is literally always congested.
Right.
Now, overthinking is usually tied to stress. Right? Stress, you being overwhelmed. All of these lead to you overthinking, you procrastinating, your indecisiveness. So it's very cloudy up there. But we do the clarity exercise to basically drown out the noise. So we can see, like I like to say, we start to see the shape of the animal. So we start to see what animal we're about to draw, right? And then we make some steps. And most times after we do the steps, after we do the exercises, I give you worksheets, I give you guidebooks, I give you exercises, I give you steps, right? After we do the steps, 9 out of 10 times the clients are more aware of what to do next, even before I say it. They might tell me, Sarah, I realize I do this because, and I'm like, not you coaching yourself, and then we laugh about it because when you take the step, there is some actions that will give you clarity. You will see what to do next. You'll understand why this happened.
Right.
So everything doesn't have to be known now. Whilst I'm speaking there, Steve, I feel like I have something that popping in your mind because you look very focused now.
I focus on you.
Yes.
I'm listening.
So does that mean that there is a task that you are going to jump on and not fear commitment? No, no, no. All of a sudden, the determination look just went right out the window.
There are the task that I have in mind is not a situation of commitment.
Okay.
It's a situation of, do I really want to do it's not really that I am not committed to doing it. I just don't feel like it needs commitment. It's not just like
Why do you feel like you don't need commitment?
because I feel like it's not that top, it's not to the top of my priority list. It's just not a priority for me. It's just something to get done.
If it's not a priority for you, why does it need to get done?
Because it should.
Why it should get done? Because I want to understand why you're avoiding it. If it's on your list, you're in 2 minds to do it. It's not a priority. Why are you mentally burdened with a task that is not a priority and you feel like it doesn't have to get done? Why is it on your mind?
Okay. Because it's not something that is going to assist with my own goals. It is more for someone else. So whilst I don't mind giving myself or assisting with getting something done for somebody,
Right.
it's just not something that I feel like I should go out of my way to go and do.
All right.
Now, it sounds a little selfish saying it out loud, you know, but really and truly, I just don't feel like it's something that I need to do. Because for them, it's not even a priority for them. It's not that big for them, if you understand me.
All right. So it's not a priority for them.
It's not a huge priority for them.
It's not a priority for you, clearly. And you...
It's just on the list.
It's just on the list. No,
It's
we're
just-
not doing just things on the list because all of those things are distractions. You will still have to end up using time and resources and efforts. So
True.
why is it on the list?
Okay, 98.
Yeah, thank you. Also, if you feel so strongly about it, that should be communicated. That should be communicated. And sometimes that's another thing that we lack in terms of commitment and our goals and whatnot, and things that I guess people are asking of us. If you don't feel comfortable doing something for whatever reason, that should be communicated. I feel like a lot of tension can be avoided that way.
Agreed.
Because if it's not a priority for you, how do you expect me to make it a priority for me?
True. Very true. You're right.
Because part of why you feel how you feel is because you're realizing that I have to go out of my way to do this for this person.
There we go.
And this person is not even prioritizing doing it for themselves.
Ooh, okay.
So your reaction is a normal reaction of you feeling stuff.
Oh, okay.
But if you feel that way, that should have been communicated.
Agreed. Agreed.
And it should also not be on your list if you really feel like you're not going to do it.
I might do it.
Oh, wow. Steva, you just contributed your whole paragraph you just said.
I might, no, it's, you see, I am not shutting it down completely. I'm just kind of, it's on my mind. It's something that someone expressed that they needed to get done. But like we mentioned, it is not a priority to them. But I know the time is coming and it will become a priority to them. Even though I've given the nudge and I've said, okay, are you ready? But with this situation, I cannot take the lead. I cannot jump ahead and do it. You have to say, okay, this is important, I need to. That way I can help you. But I should not have to go outside of my everything. You know, that's like taking a whole different road to come and help you. It's not making sense. It's not making sense. I might do it eventually to help. Just to help. Because sometimes people need that nudge. But right now I'm in an assessing period where I'm making sure I'm looking, observing, understanding if I should like scratch it completely off the list and move on with my life, or if I should just hang on and wait.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't sound like you really want to hang on and wait, huh?
I want to be supportive. I want to believe that I am a positive, good person, and I want to help. But like I mentioned, I think I already stated the case with me.
All right, but supportive not supposed to feel like a chore. If supportive is starting to feel like a chore, then it's not really supportive. Because a chore feeling, you being supportive is not supposed to feel like a burden. Because the essence of support is for me to hold your hand willingly, to lift you up, to help you to do whatever you're doing. If I feel like it's a burden for me to hold your hand, then that's no longer support. Because I'm at the point of frustration and I'm doing it just because. It goes from support to people pleasing.
And with that, everyone, we realize that you have a little problem there.
It goes from support, because you see, support is supposed to be a genuine reaction. It's
True.
supposed to feel light. You understand? It's almost like an instinct. It's all about trust.
Okay.
especially when it comes to not just your relationship trust and just your work and people outside of yourself trust, but trust with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because when you fear commitment, you're looking at the end goal. But with success, every single process matters. The journey matters. So to let go of fear of commitment, remember that you're supposed to enjoy the process. Every step counts. So when you're no longer watching it as A and B, or A and D, and you start looking at A, B, C, D, it's a different reaction.
Okay.